Hello, hello from wherever you are. If you are watching us, let us know in the live because we are a global business. And we are here on our digital business talk because we want to share our journey with you and also our experiences in this digital business. So maybe if you are looking for something more, if you're ready to challenge yourself, then listen to our live tonight because we also have our guest and coach, Tay, and we are going to have an awesome topic. If you don't know me, my name is Tina, and I am a teacher, a mom, a wife, and also a digital business owner. And the reason why I came on, joined this digital business is because I really, really want more time with my kids. And I have been looking for that since my youngest was born. And it's now been 22 years. And I think the timing is perfect for me because had it happened any other time in my life, I would not have been ready. My kids were still young. And so now is the perfect time. And maybe your kids are young, but it is still very possible. You can do this business part time. You can really challenge yourself to grow and help your kids set them up, have a legacy ready for them as well. So I'm going to have our guest and coach Tay introduce and share a little bit about herself. And then we will have Marissa and Pena introduce themselves as well. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here today with you ladies. You've been doing amazing in your business. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tay. I am a business coach and mentor in this business. I'm also a mom, and I'm from Minnesota, a proud mom. I'm a wife and a digital business owner, a full-time digital business owner. Okay, so know that it's possible you can be full-time doing this, and this is my it. Okay, so I began this journey really part-time while working full-time in the social service world, and I started because I realized that I was missing out too much on my son's milestones, and I can those milestones can never be taken. You can never get it back, right? Missing out too many times, so much time with family, which I can never get back or make up, because a little too late, right? When you realize it, a little too late, but it's never too late to start living your dreams and building your dreams, and that's when I found this business, building financial and freedom and time freedom for myself and actually being present for my son nowadays. Little different situation nowadays with me, but that was the reason why I started. So thank you for having me here. Back to you, ladies.
And then Marissa, you can introduce yourself as well.
Hello, everyone. It's Marissa here. I'm also a digital business owner here. I've been in the business for 2 years now. I'm excited to be here for tonight's topic. And a little bit about me, I am working professionally as a medical billing specialist. I've been in that field for 8 years now, actually, which is quite surprising. Will be going on my ninth year this year, so I'm quite excited in my field. I love what I do. I enjoy the healthcare field, but it is very exhausting at time, and you tend to have a lot of professional burnout at times, just very exhausting not having that time for your families, for your friends, for yourself. And that kind of gave me a little bit of self-reflections that I want to spend that kind of quality time for myself, building myself in my future and what I can leave behind for future generations. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you. Back to you, Tina.
Thank you, Marissa. It's great to always host with you too. And Pena, you can share a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. It is Pania here. If you guys have been following us and following me as well, my name is Pania. I am also a mom. I am from Minnesota as well, mom of two, and also a wife. I work in the medical field for over 10 years as well. I've been in this online business as a business owner for 3 years. This year is going to be 4 years, so super excited. Um, my take on why I started this business is because, I wanted that change. I wanted to spend more time with my kids and, with my family. Time is very short. And not only that, after getting laid off for not just only once or twice, but for the third time, it opened up my eyes to realize that it's time for a change. Even if I had currently on my job right now, but with this online business, it has given me the backup plan and the security for me that I can turn back to when my job lets me go. Because, everyone here, we're all replaceable, and we just never know when we're going to get let go. Not because of our performance, but because things are changing every day within all these business, organization, whatever, you name it. And so this online business has given me that backup plan, and I'm really grateful to be here with my business partners and meeting new people and stuff. And so yeah, that is it.
Thank you, Pena. And tonight's topic is really, really amazing. And I think that, when you're looking at this digital business and you're watching this live and you're like, well, what are the things that I can expect? What are the pros and cons of this business? How is it going to fit into my life? Am I going to make money? Right. So we go into our business, our work, our job, our life, having these expectations. And so tonight's topic is really, really looking at the expectations of, how is it good? How is it going to help you? And how may having expectations hinder your experience? And so I want to put it out there for you all to share a little bit, give your feedback, your experience, just share. Then that way, those of you who are watching tonight, you might just be like, you know what, I have this expectation of going into this business and making, $5,000 in the second month so I can quit my job. Like that expectation, if you come into the business thinking that, you're going to be let down. So not to say that it's not possible, but if there's a lot of moving pieces, right? So what is the pros and cons of having expectations, and what can someone expect in this digital business? So anyone who wants to start first, we usually start with the guest. And so you're more than welcome to say.
Yes, this is a really dangerous but great topic. Let me just say that. Because expectations, when we go into something with expectations, that is either a good thing or a bad thing, right? Because honestly, when I first started this business, my expectations weren't clear. I wasn't clear what I wanted. I wanted something to supplement my income. That's all I wanted, right? When I started, and honestly, that can be very dangerous, like I said. And I also expected fast results, okay? Because I had no experience on digital business, and I thought it was going to move fast like the online world, but I didn't yet have fast skills on digital business. Okay, so I also expected confidence, but I was still learning how to show up too. And there's so many things when you come in something with expectations. So that's why I always say come in with real expectations, right? Because I experienced it. I came through wanting fast results. I wanted confidence. And all of the wants, right? And that's where expectations can either support you or self-sabotage you. Okay. And been through it, been there, done that, right? I've been there, but I've learned this through this journey. Okay. I've learned that healthy expectations create consistency, and unrealistic expectations create quitting. Okay. That's why I always say come in with realistic expectations, because it's healthy for you, for your business, for your everyday life too. And this business isn't hard at all. It is a lot because you are your own boss. You are your digital CEO of your business, but it isn't hard. You just have more expectations of you. You have to expect more of yourself, right? But it doesn't require being honest with yourself, okay? Requires honesty, and you really have to be really know who you are and see who you really are, because when you really do, then you'll know what to expect, what to do, right? And I don't expect perfection anymore, because I used to, right? Because when you start something new, I was always like, oh my gosh, this doesn't look good. Oh my gosh, what are they going to think about this? I have to make this perfect.
Mhm.
Not anymore. I don't expect motivation every day anymore either, because motivation comes from inside. You have to have intrinsic motivation to be able to keep going, right? You can be
Mhm.
inspired, but if you don't have that intrinsic motivation, you're not getting anywhere. And I honestly don't expect overnight success anymore, because successful things and great things happen over time, not overnight. So, in this business, you can't come with expecting everything to be perfect for success to be overnight and for you to be motivated, because you have to do that yourself. You have to motivate yourself
Mhm.
to be able to do things. And what do I expect now, right? In this business, I expect to show up even when it's uncomfortable, because you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable before you can be comfortable. Not
Yes.
to go there. And you have to expect to stay teachable, right?
Mhm.
You have to be open to learning all the time, because everything is about learning. I'm still learning, right? And you have to expect to grow a little every day, because you can't expect to grow right away and be like an expert or skillful right away when you start. It takes baby steps. And the most important thing is, do not abandon yourself. Do not give up on yourself when it's slow. Okay? Things will get slow before it gets moving, because when it's slow, that means you're moving. And when you move, then you can't run, right? You have to just keep moving, and then eventually you'll run. But then you have to slow down, smell the roses too, right? So I just want to say
Yeah.
that when expectations aligned with growth, they push you forward. And through my experience here in this business, there's so many resources around that helps you do that. And I'm so grateful for that. And honestly, again, when expectations are tied to pressure, comparison, and or I should, or saying to yourself like, I should already be farther along, right? That's self-sabotage.
Mhm.
And so your expectations are putting too much pressure on you. So especially for women like us, right? Working tired, carrying families, responsibilities, and oh, you name it, our own dreams, right? Where we kind of put
Yes.
in the corner for all of those things. And then we forget about our dreams, but we're carrying it still, right? So this business rewards consistency, not intensity. So until you realize that, and the best part is, the most of the heavy lifting is done in the back for us. So the intensity is already mostly carried for us. We just have to
Mhm.
be consistent and show up. So the expectations of you just giving yourself to telling yourself to show up. And then one thing that I want to share is that the moment that I stopped asking, why am I not there yet? Or why I'm not where like I want to be, and I started asking, what can I do today? Right? Everything shifted. So
Mhm.
it's just the action, the expectations of like putting too much pressure on yourself in any endeavor that you take, as long as you don't give up on yourself in your dreams that you've been carrying since childhood. If you have forgotten, we dreamed a lot
Mhm.
when we were kids. So yeah, everything shifts when you shift the way you talk to yourself and think, especially in this business, because it's all online. So yeah, so I've got to share back to you, Tina.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You have so many points, and I'm like, oh, I got to talk about that. I can say something about that. And I think too, I want to share just from seeing and then also experiencing it myself. Like, I want that success, but I don't want to change. Right. And I think that's the expectation. Like, oh, I want to be successful like that person, but I still want to be me so that I'm well liked by my family and friends. And the truth is, when you have this vision and you start to see your dream like it's so possible, you really challenge yourself, and like Tay said, you have to show up. And the more that you show up, you're like, oh wow, like I was, this is the expectation, or I'm expecting more of myself, and that really sets the standard for you to trust yourself, to believe in yourself, to show up for others. And that really, really opens up a lot of doors. Okay. Marissa, Pena, let's have Pena share.
Yeah, for me, like Coach says, and Tina, expectations, it can lead to good and bad, um, but at the same time, turn the bad into the good. So like anything negative, anything that's self-sabotaging, just push it to the positive way to make it like a standard for yourself. Because for me, when my expectations are healthy, they help keep me grounded. They give me like direction without putting pressure on myself to be perfect. um, and when I focus on the growth instead of instant results, like what Coach says, I can put my energy into learning, you know, not like every day where I have to do that, but of course, in this business or even in my personal life with my kids and for myself, we are learning every day, every minute, second, whatever you name it. We're building skills and, showing up consistently, like what we mentioned about. This helps me stay patient for myself and also just trust the process that, especially during like the slower moments or when we're really caught up in life, it reminds me that success takes time. Um, you can't just expect, oh, I'm gonna do this and then bam, tomorrow it's gonna be like that. Because if it was like that, then oh yeah, it will be perfect 100% for every one of us, right? We would be like billionaires already. But when my expectations, when they come from fear, comparison, or unrealistic timelines, you know, they hold me back just like everyone else. Expecting that quick result, of course, it leads to that frustration and just burning yourself out, comparing my progress to someone in a different like season or area. It creates all that pressure, and making me feel overwhelmed that, oh, I'm not perfect like that person, or I'm not there like, you know, um, we shouldn't be thinking in that way because it's just going to stress us out even more. And then it makes you feel like you're just going to expect failure. And, you're going to hesitate before, the real momentum of when you reach your goal is there, right? And so it's it's a challenge and it's hard, but you know you just have to keep your mind to it and going back and think about your whys and your of why you started the business and what your goals are. Because if you give up easily and you just like be like, no, it's not working, I'm just I'm done, and then what, the next day you're just gonna going back to square one. And you're just gonna be like, well, this is not where I want to be anymore, I want to go to do something else. And it's like, okay, then you're gonna have to go through the circle again. But if you are where you at and you feel like, no, it's not gonna work, give it some more time. You will get to where you need to be, but it just takes time. So another thing I wanted to share is that, like, in this online business, you don't want to expect too much, but at the same time, you kind of do, just to challenge yourself. Because if you feel like, okay, I'm already there, let's just leave it at that, then you're just too comfortable, right? But what if you push yourself even a little bit more, to be more successful? Then that way you will, what is it, bring out the potential out from you, right? So that's why I said it has its pros and cons too. So, but yeah, Marissa.
Okay. Sorry. I was like, am I still on mute? You know what? This is a very interesting topic. I agree with you, ladies, that there's, two sides to every stories, and there's the both goods and there's the bads. Um, I think you ladies had, highlighted a lot of good key points. I love the fact that you guys brought out the challenges that we go through life, and you brought, you highlighted points on professional and personal growth, and you brought about reflections. I think that's very important because I think we talked about it a lot of time here on our live about personal growth, mindset growth, and just a lot about a good self reflection. That's always something that I have always mentioned. Is that I love what Coach mentioned in some of the phrases that you used. Definitely come in with a realistic expectation, and that's something that I kind of relate to Coach. I came in here with just the thought that I want to change, right? I didn't know change. I don't know what to change, but I came with the mindset that I want change. And the most amazing thing about the business is that it helps you understand those concepts. You're not alone into identifying what they are, and you're not going to be left alone to navigate those areas. And I like the fact that, you know, we can all help each other grow and learn in here, and that's something that I did not expect, is to have a global supporting community from all over the world that is just like myself. It's very, you know, normal. We live all a very normal life, working hard every day to support ourselves and our families, but we all have one thing in mind, is that we want it change, we want it growth, and that is something that it's really real in here. And when you come with the expectations of wanting change, you have to be real about yourself. Give yourself a very good reflection on what is it that you want to elaborate on or improve or really work on. And I think when you come with that mindset of how can I change my, it can be financial status, technical skills, personal skills, whatever it is, the business can offer that. We just have great, amazing assets that we can offer in this business. And I think that's very amazing. Just a really you know, just to share a little bit, I came with also a very negative mindset. I didn't know what to do, not necessarily doubting myself, but I just kind of came with a lot of negativity around me. I was surrounded with a lot of toxic energy. And when you surround yourself so much with that energy where you're always complaining, like, why this, why that, nitpicking this, right? And you is eventually become someone who just starts to complain a lot about these things, right? And we learned about the law of attractions, where when you focus all your energy and your attention on those kind of stuff, that's all that it's going to attract, right? And that's all the kind of energy that you're bringing in. And that's something that I did not know, and I have to relearn myself. And coming into this business, I did not expect a lot, but I received a lot. And that's something that it's always very grateful, that I'm very grateful for, and I'm just very honored to be part of. And it really helped define my character. It helped me, you know, humble my character. It helped me reshape my mind and really think about how I view things and how I perceive things. And when it comes to expectations, I want to focus not just on milestones that I can reach, but real goals that I can touch. And I think that's very important, is you know, having that broader mindset of saying what can I do and what can I become 5 to 10 years from now, versus just, you know, like what Panya mentioned, you know, we can say what we want to do and what we want to be, but if you're just going to sit there and fold your hand, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So I love that you brought about challenges, because it's not, this business is not something that comes very easy. It's not about getting rich easy. You know, if you work hard, you can get there, but you have to understand that it comes with efforts, it comes with consistency, it comes with determinations, it comes with understanding, you know, yourself and what you want and how you want to grow in that aspect. So this business, we all have to understand in certain way that we understand, as we are part of this community, we understand that it may not be for everyone. It's not for everyone, and that's something that we, the people that work in this community, knows. And which is why, you know, we have always mentioned that our business here, it's a great opportunity because we are part of it and we love it, and we learn about ourselves and we grow in here, and we would love to share this information with everyone around the world. But unfortunately, it's not for everyone, because there's a lot of people who come in here and think that this is a quick gimmick, you know, get rich easy kind of thing. Or, you know, when they don't produce results, then it's something that, you know, they're kind of like, oh, you're just scamming me into something, right? But this is something that we want you to understand, that when you come in here, it's going to be about growth. It's going to be about challenge. It's going to be about, you know, what you want to really manifest toward, and we're going to help you manifest toward that. And those are the kind of expectations that I didn't really think that I will get, because when I came in here, I honestly didn't really know what I want, right? But I really got, you know, the longer straw, and everything that I receive from the business is just so much more, from the training to all of my business partners, you know, from the support that I get in here. Like, you know, I kind of relate to Pena, where I got laid off from work as well. And, you know, it was a moment where I went through a very depressing time of my life, and I didn't know what I want to pursue. And I was already part of the business, but my progress in here was pretty slow. And I'm still working at my day job, and I was just let go after 7 years of working there. And like Pena mentioned, you know, it's not performance, it's why they let me go. But, you know, things happen, life change, and unfortunately I got let go. And that was just something that I just never expected, that things can change so quickly, and, you know, I can be so replaceable like that. Or, you know, my income that I thought I was so secure in and stable in, it just cut off automatically. And that was something that I never expected, I never came across before. And that was the hardest time of my life. But, you know, with Coach here, I just want to kind of honor and thank you for the fact that, you know, during that time, she brought me forward and she talked to me and helped me understand that, you know, maybe all things happen for a purpose. Maybe the universe intended that way because I was meant for something better, for something greater. And I remember you have mentioned that, you know, with me being laid off, and you know how I mentioned I don't have time with families and friends, and, you know, I have a lot of nieces and nephews that I love and cherish dearly, and I don't get to spend enough time with them. And with that moment of me being home, I did got to spend time with them. I did, for the first time in ever, that I finally felt, you know, I didn't even, I was so negative in the fact that I lost my job, that I didn't realize I was home. And every day that I was home, I got to spend those moments, every little moment, with those precious people. And that was something that I didn't hold on to and I took for granted. And I wasn't grateful about it. But when Coach kind of told me, like, hey, you know, well, you know, understandably, you know, losing a job is very hurtful, but you did got to spend that little moment with your loved ones, and you have now more time to spend with them. And that was when I was like, wow, just that little shift in perspective, it really changed my mindset. And I just love how it's not just Coach, but everybody in here have that kind of mentality, is looking at it from a different perspective and from the positive side of perspective. And like Panya have mentioned, changing your negativity thoughts into positivity. And that's very empowering, and how powerful it can be for someone who doesn't not have that kind of mentality or mindset, or is always stuck in that negative, you know, mode. It really builds a great sense of inspiration, admirations, motivations, and it keeps you driven. And that driven energy, it's what help you identify yourself and identify your goals. Because you're stuck at a moment where it's either like your fight or flight mode, right? Like, are you going to get stuck here or you're going to keep going, right? And for me, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and mope and cry that I lost my job. We're not doing that today. We're gonna, apply the jobs online, and we're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep attending all the masterminds and having all these beautiful and, promising leaders and coaches come on and teach me how to run my business. And at the same time, I'm gonna, work hard at my day job and have it financially support me and my family, and also support my business. So I'm really grateful for that. And with that kind of mindset, with just within 2 weeks, I did got hired for a new job, and I'm at that new job right now, and I'm working for a very great company with very great team that I'm working with. And that's why I said I love my job that I'm at. But at the same time, there's always that what if moment where you just never expect, or you just never know, because it's like a double-edged sword, right? You just never know when you're going to be let go, when you're going to be replaceable, because you're working for somebody, you're on somebody's clock, you're on somebody's schedules. You have to ask permission for days off, you have to ask for permission just to do this or that, and you have to reach all of these status quotes. And it's just like, it's very exhausting, right? And you just get burned out. So I experienced that so much, and I'm at the moment where it's like, hey, I want to be on my time. I want to wake up maybe in the afternoon, sipping on tea and coffee, watching a good TV show, doing what I love, and still have time to hop on just 1 or 2 hours a day on my business, and it's running, right? And that's, to me, is amazing. So that's just something I want to go ahead and quickly throw it there.
Yeah, and I think it's really important too, just to anything that you're stepping into, right? Just to
Mhm,
have really clear expectations or clear, in a sense, standards, right?
mhm,
Saying, hey, this is not okay, or this is what I expect of myself. And I think you mentioned, I didn't expect to get laid off. Like, or some people, I expected to work here, to retire here, right? And that doesn't
mhm,
always happen. And I think even when we have that clear expectation, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, because if you are on someone else's clock, on someone else's time, on someone else's dime, they might be like, well, my situation's changed, and that's going to change, other people's lives, right? So it's also really important, I think, just to be able to, have a certain standard. And then I think also too, I think you can look at it either way, right? When you have little expectations and this thing happens and you're like, oh wow, it's so wonderful, as opposed to someone having these high expectations, and whatever that same thing that happened doesn't meet that person's expectations, and they're like, oh, this business is, XYZ, the whole list, right? And so
mhm,
I think also, one thing to really think about is what are you requiring of yourself? And that really changes how you show up in your business and what you're willing to put in, because this business, is just one of those things where, like, I was like, oh, I expect to be, quitting my job in 2 years. And I'm like, I got to the 2 year mark and I was like barely starting my business, right? So it's like, okay, that expectation was not realistic. And so I have taken that look to say, okay, what do I expect of myself today? What am I going to do today? And like Tay said earlier, it compounds, right? It builds on that. And it's a long game, right? This business is a long game. It's not like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to make $1 million and I can quit my job and travel. And maybe not tomorrow, but if you have the expectation, if I keep working on myself and building my business and learning and growing and helping others, I will get there. Okay. So I want to, hand it over, to say any closing words. And then those of you who are watching, I would just love to know, what is it that you are expecting from this digital business? And is it realistic in your life right now? I know myself, I have been sharing this, that I expected my kids to just know. When I'm in my office, they're supposed to know that I'm working, but I didn't set that expectation. So I always felt like, every time there was a little fire, I'd be like, okay, what is it? And I didn't set it for myself, saying, okay, look, I put this hour of time and I got to do my work and I have to commit to that. And so that in itself was a journey through this digital business. I want to give the floor to you ladies to share any closing thoughts or suggestions for our viewers tonight.
Can I just comment on what Marissa said and all you guys said about being laid off and stuff, and that security blanket? Don't wait until that happens. Like we never know when it's going to. We think, like you all mentioned already, that you never think about it. You just think that you're going to stay there for the rest of your life and be loyal and work hard, bend backwards over for that position or that company, right? And to find out that, like Pena said, you are replaceable. So never think that you're irreplaceable, right? Because if you quit today, they'll find somebody to replace you tomorrow. If you drop today, they're going to find somebody to replace you tomorrow. So you're not building your dreams, you're building somebody else's dreams, but you're replaceable at the same time. So come in, start your own journey, right? Build your own dreams, because if you keep building somebody else's dreams, you're just making them rich, right? When you can control your own, I guess, value, right? Because they decide your value when you work for somebody, but you decide your own value. And then when you are doing what you love and creating your own value of how much you're worth, you can go do for them part-time. And then, like, it's not really working when you're doing it part-time and it's something you love too, right? So don't wait until that security blanket is ripped from under you. So you guys made really great points there. And I just want to close me out with for any of you watching out there who's exhausted, right? And you're watching this, if you're tired, don't give up, okay? You have to be tired before you can relax. Lower the pressure, not your standard, okay? And I just want to say that you don't need a new life, okay? We want change, but we have to we need that new decision to be able to change, okay? So you don't need a new life, you just need a decision to make that decision of, I'm going to do this for me, or I'm going to whatever, right? Fill in the blank. And then when you make that decision, you tend to kind of take actually, I'm going to challenge you to take one aligned action tonight, right? Send that message, watch that training, or register on one of these ladies' website that's already on here and check it out, right? Like, no obligations. We're not here to pressure anybody or like to persuade anybody to do anything. But just know that if you don't take action, you're still going to be sitting there watching, and you're still going to be stuck where you are, wondering. So show up messy. All I'm going to say is just show up messy, because momentum does not come from energy. Okay? It comes from movement. You have to move to get momentum.
Yes, that's true.
Capable, okay? And then this tired moment. Remember this tired moment, and you're not incapable. You're capable. You're oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. But I just want to say you're capable, okay? And this tired moment will pass. And this tired moment is trying to convince you otherwise. So start moving so that you can get somewhere. That's all I have to say. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. Ladies, any other closing words?
I wanted to add that, if you don't take the faith of leap, or the leap of faith, sorry, the
You
leap
can do both.
to leap, yes, or either way. But if you don't take the leap of faith to take on an opportunity that's been given to you, you may miss it. it may not come back to you. And if, yes, of course, this business sounds too good to be true, but it doesn't hurt to just take a peek and see what it's all about. That is why we have our websites underneath our names. All you have to do is just sign your name in your email, and you will get to watch a webinar, and it will tell you like the basics of the business, to see what it's all about. And if you feel like, hey, maybe this is something that I'm interested in more, or just wanting to learn more, then there are steps that you have to take after that. Or if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us. We are here to help you share information, all the knowledge and everything for everyone out there, or even the ones that are like watching us right now too. I was one of those. I was one of you. And when I got laid off, I was like, okay, I hope that I will find something that that I could be able to stay home, be with my kids, and but yet have income coming in. And when I came across an ad, which was my coach's ad, and just watching the webinar and everything, of course it made me skeptical, but same time, like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a try. It's just like how you are, going for a new job, a new training, or whatever it is. But this, it had opened up my eyes, because I was like, you know what, it's something that I can get to do for myself. I can pass on with my to my kids, get to build a legacy. And I'm like, this could be something that can work out. And of course it just gives some time to kind of learn about it. Yeah, what is it? Going through all the training and everything. But we have a wonderful global community that we all help each other. If you have questions or you're stuck on something, we are all here to help you, and you're not alone in this journey at all. And so don't be afraid that, oh, you're gonna fail or anything. You're not. Just um, each and every day, just keep having that feeling like, you know what, I could do this for myself. And then if you, um, I'm so close to gonna speak in Hmong.
Go for it. Go for it, Pania.
I'm like, if 跟我学啊，你语音我到啊. So just have that dedication for yourself and that motivation, because if it weren't for you, no one else would do it for you. Okay, so take that opportunity. And so yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Pania. Okay, Marissa, do you want to say anything, or you want to add any
Yeah,
closing thoughts?
I just want to go ahead and quickly add that, I think we mentioned it many times, but I just want to go ahead and add it again, that there's never a perfect moment for change or to take action. There's never a perfect time. The perfect time is just to take action now. And that's when, when you start to work on yourself and you start to see change, that's when you know that it's right for you or it's wrong for you, right? So definitely, if you're interested, sign up to the website and reach out to one of us here.
Thank you. Thank you, Marissa. And for those of you who are watching, and the topic tonight is really, what do you expect of this digital business? And my question to you is really, what do you expect of yourself in this life, right? What are your capabilities? And are you really living up to that? Are you really living your full life? If you step back in fear and say, well, I expected this, but it's not what I want, and so I'm not going to do it. But really expect more of yourself and challenge yourself to change. Otherwise, this time next year, hashtag, that's my hashtag, you're going to be in the same spot. And you really do have to say, what am I here to do? What is my goal? What is my mission? It doesn't even have to be that big. It's just, what is my expectation of myself? And really let that sink in. And, I mean, I could go on, but so yes, just really, really let that sink in and ask yourself that, and really challenge yourself to grow in ways that you didn't expect. So that is it for tonight. And again, I want to say thank you to Coach Tay, Marissa, and Pania for spending your Friday night here. And for those of you who are watching, we will see you soon again. Bye.
Bye.